All right, here we go. It's Eating with Sasquatch. I am the Sasquatch, and today we are talking about prepping your stomach. So, what I'm going to do, one sec here, I'm going to get this open so I can see my live chat here. One sec. Of course, I don't know where all the apps are on this one, so this should be fun figuring this out. One sec. Sorry, guys. Every single app, none of them are where it's. Oh, this is good. Oh, I found it. I found YouTube. There we are. Sorry, guys. Not using my particular phone here, so. All right. Live chat. Hey, B. Sorry I didn't answer you on Messenger, B. I just saw your message and hadn't had a chance to respond yet. Sorry about that. Justin Sr., what's up? Harmon Heat. Yo. So, basically, my friend Jeff Coy, he actually sent me some stuff. You know what? I'm going to grab right here. It's right outside the camera. He had sent me some stuff, and he had asked me to try these things and give him kind of my perspective on what he thought, or what I thought of these things for him. And also he had asked me if I would do a kind of a breakdown of how I prep my stomach for spicy foods and spicy challenges and things like that. And I think it's an important thing. If you're going to be somebody that does a lot of spicy stuff, you should definitely have a game plan, because the last thing you want to do is spend the whole night cramping and in terrible pain. Any of you that have been through that, it's one of those things. It's kind of inevitable. It's going to happen, but you just really don't want to have to deal with that. Let's see, Stephen Wine. Hey, brother. Hey, Stephen. Oh, shoot. That's right. You had won something else, I think, on a different one. I'm sorry. Thank you, B. Got to take the proper measures before eating hot. Yes. Heavy Metal Hot Sauce. What's up? Heavy Metal Hot Sauce. Heavy Metal Hot Sauce. We're so hot, man. Yeah, man. Sorry. It's a Brandon thing that he does, and I like it. What's up, Michael Johnson? Michael Johnson, did you get your chocolate? Hopefully, sorry, I need to set this in a better spot to where I can sit down here and see. Sorry. I'm trying to figure out where is a good place. Nope, that's not good enough. I can get it closer to me, maybe. I'm trying to be able to see your guys' questions and whatnot. Not yet. Okay. Should be there anytime, Michael. I sent it out the other day, so should be there. But I want to go through what the things that Jeff Coy sent me real quick, and then we'll get into the whole breakdown of that. So he sent me, I've never had this premonition. This is like a Primo Verde sauce. All these are pretty much Verde sauces that I'm going to show you right here. Hellfire Zombie Snot have had this wonderful, wonderful sauce. Strongly suggest that. Burns and McCoy Verde. This is their Reaper Verde. Another one, really good. Not extremely hot for me. Definitely one of their really ones that's the must try. Charman, their Verde hot sauce. I have actually never tried this. Those of you that know me, I love Charman. Their original is fantastic. I love the fact that they got the number 33. 33 is my favorite number. I love that. He also sent me Lucky Dog Ridiculously Tasty Mustard Chipotle Hot Sauce. I'm not the biggest mustard fan, not the biggest Chipotle fan, but he's under the impression that I might like this. I'm definitely going to try it, and with the hopes that I maybe do. Got another one here that is a Roasted Ghost. I don't know exactly. Silogy sauce. I've never heard of Silogy sauce. So this one's supposedly a limited edition one. Kind of cool. And he sent me some, I think these are actually spicy too. Scorpion suckers. So I'm gonna do those scorpion suckers too. I don't know if I'm doing them live or whatever. But anyways, let's see who else is in here now. And of course I really can't see. What's up? I cannot Scarface? Is that what? Yeah, Scarface. Right on. That was kind of hard to make out what that is. Neighbor Girl Bradshaw. What's up? Nice to see you. Charman Verde is one of my favorites, and honestly, Heavy Metal Hot Sauce. I think it's one of them that I really look forward to. I really like Charman Original. I'm not a huge fan of the Caribbean though. My favorite too. Have you ever had Excubarium? Yes, I have had that, and that is a wonderful sauce. I drank the bottle, as a matter of fact. It's so good. Yo, Jay Savage, what's up, brother? Rick Cook, how's it going? Thank you for joining. All right, guys, so let me go ahead and get into this real quick. This is something that I really feel like if you're gonna delve into spicy foods and really go for some heat, this is something I feel like is a very important conversation. I was just kind of trying to get some people in here before I started this conversation, but the main thing is if you know you're just gonna eat kind of a smaller amount, but it's something that's really hot, say just like you're gonna eat a fresh pod. If I'm gonna eat like maybe a fresh Reaper, the first thing I do is I'll eat a peanut butter sandwich, throw a peanut butter sandwich down there, have a kind of a landing pad, and then maybe drink a little bit of milk or something like that. And then a lot of times I'll eat the pepper, and then after the pepper is over, after the burn's over and the video's over, I'll go back and eat another peanut butter sandwich. It kind of like sandwiches that pepper in there to kind of keep it from burning your intestines and things on the way through the body. Because people are always like, oh, your butt's gonna hurt. Oh, whatever, your mouth, whatever. Do you have any taste buds? The mouth and the end are not the parts that really destroy you when you eat stuff like that. It's the trip through the body. And I say it a lot. The trip through the body is really the part where if it stops and it just hangs out in a spot somewhere in your intestines, it feels like the alien from the movie is trying to come out your stomach, and it hurts. It hurts bad. So when you talk about cramps, a lot of times your cramps are either going to be where the pepper has not moved out of your stomach and it's just starting to burn in there, or it has moved into your intestines and it stops. When it stops, it really hurts. Your intestines are not equipped to deal with that burn. So wrapping that, encasing that in a peanut butter sandwich kind of shell, that's one good way to deal with that. So definitely strongly suggest that one. Let's see, what do we got? Jacob, what's up? Bananas and peanut butter. And the bananas, I feel like, honestly, the bananas don't really help with the burn. People talk about the bananas helping with the burn. I don't feel like they do. If anything, I feel like the bananas actually help the trip through. And I really do. I feel like it helps kind of get things through a little quicker. And I don't mean to get like gross on that stuff, but I really feel like it helps stuff travel through faster. So preach, brother, preach. Hey, and this is really just because I see a lot of people out there doing things like, maybe drinking certain things. You hear people talk about drinking whatever, or eating whatever. I think if you find something and it really truly works for you, great. But there's going to be those days that something just doesn't work. So it's always good to have other options. Let's see. Tim Stocks, what's up? Been there, yeah. Everybody that's really eating crazy hot stuff a lot, they know there's that day that comes. You feel like you're invincible. You're like, oh, I'm so tough, and then that day comes, and you spend 3 hours in the bathroom curled up in the fetal position on the ground, and you're just like begging for the sweet relief of death because it's just so terrible. So definitely one of those things I cannot stress enough. You definitely need to prepare for what you're doing. Now, in the situation where you're doing a challenge, say, like I've eaten 30 Reapers at one time. And when I sit down and I eat 30 Reaper peppers, I fully intend to get those back out of me. I do not plan to let my body try to process that much. So if you see me do those videos, and there's people out there that let you think they're going to process 30 peppers or whatever. I don't think anybody else is stupid enough to eat 30. Maybe Johnny Scoville would try to eat 30. I don't know. Most people are not going to sit and eat 30. Maybe there's one or two out there. I don't know. That's beside the point. But when you're eating an extreme amount of spicy like that, and you know it's too much for your body, you should prepare to get that back out of your body. If you're just doing it for a challenge, there's no sense in trying to digest that. You're really just asking for trouble. And again, it's not something that you really don't want to spend the whole night suffering from that. And it is the trip through. It's not the mouth burn. The mouth burn goes away after 15, 20 minutes, even, and then the worst stuff that I've done, the mouth burn goes away. The burn out the other end goes away. The burn through the body, that will come in waves, and you'll wish you were dying. I'm not even joking when I say that. Mercy, I've been there on the floor before. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I take potassium pill before big spicy, no things, peanut butter and milk. And see, I can't do milk myself. I actually have to do almond milk. So, because I'm lactose intolerant. So, and I know it's funny, a guy that eats a crazy amount of peppers like me being lactose intolerant, it's kind of ironic, but I really don't feel like the milk or the almond milk, whatever, I don't feel like it helps as much as people think. It really is more just a cold, kind of thicker substance than maybe water. Any kind of cold substance you can drink really gives you a little bit of temporary relief when you're really suffering. Even when you're having cramps, sometimes I'll throw some liquid down there just to kind of just cool my body down, my temperature, my core temperature down just a little bit, just because I'm maybe sweating from the burn or whatever. It's crazy. So 3 teaspoons of baking soda. See, and that's the thing. And I may eventually come back. And I know my buddies over at N&J Pepper Show kind of went back and they had done a what works and what doesn't work, yada yada, different things you could try to combat the burn. I may go back eventually and try to do like fan-based ideas on what kinds of things you guys at home do to see how they work for me. And something that may work for you may not work for me. And it's just like what I'm telling you here, it may not work for you. You know, the peanut butter sandwich, maybe you got a peanut allergy, you know, so you can't do that obviously. So you got to find things that work. I will always say breads are super absorbent. So if you're doing like copious amounts of hot sauce, breads are super absorbent. So it's nice to have something that can kind of, the hot sauce can kind of leach into and not be just full on outright hot sauce. So think about that kind of stuff too. The cap cramps from the Prometheus Farms Etsy chip last weekend, and I threw it up. It's hotter than Pocky. Okay, well that's cool. That's one of the things too. If something gets in your stomach and you just feel that really bad burn, you just know. And there's the times you'll know that it's gonna cramp and you didn't plan on it cramping. The best bet is just to get that stuff out of you. I don't recommend puking all the time either, because puking is hard on your body. It's bad for your teeth. It really is. It's bad for your teeth to be puking all the time. It's just bad for your digestion. It's just bad overall. So if you can avoid it, don't prep to puke all the time. That being said, there are those times where you need to prep to puke. So now I'm going to get into what I do when I know I'm going to have to puke. So when I have to puke, generally, if I do the world record for the Reaper eating challenge or whatever, when I do those, throughout the day, generally, I am feeding my body capsaicin anyways. I get like dried peppers, and I'll suck on dried peppers all day long. I get capsaicin running through my body throughout the entire day. My body just starts to recognize that I'm just going to keep just distributing capsaicin to it. So what happens there is my body starts just processing the capsaicin anyways. I don't actually chew the peppers up and swallow them. It's just the capsaicin oils that are going through my body. It also kind of gets my tolerance up for when I do those challenges. As of late, I'm sorry, say that correctly. As of late, I have been not really prepping so much because I'm trying to really get the burn effect, just to see what levels I can get it to, just because I'm crazy and a little bit masochistic. But I feel like that's the thing is like, when I know I'm going to be like that, I know I got to get the stuff out. So I'll practice all day, keeping capsaicin coming through, and I'll kind of nibble on food all day, so my stomach is not empty. You don't want your stomach to be empty. And then about 45 minutes to a half hour before I do whatever I'm going to do, I will eat it's the Bob Evans mashed potatoes. I'll heat them up for like 3 minutes. I don't make them real hot or anything like that. I just get them nice and warm, and I'll eat the whole tray of it, and that's my landing pad. Because if I eat peppers or whatnot, the peppers will not get around that landing pad. And then I'll throw a little bit of almond milk or something like that down in there for kind of a liquid for the stuff to land in. And then I'll go do my challenge. Sometimes I throw a banana in there. Sometimes I throw a Tums in there too, or a couple Tums in there. The banana, again, I feel like it doesn't do much for the burn, but for getting things through the body once it's all said and done, I think the banana helps for that. The Tums, usually just to kind of keep the antacids down in my stomach. But so I'll go do the challenge. When I'm done with that challenge, what I do is right away I start just drinking insane amounts of liquid. Usually it's going to be the almond milk. Sometimes it's just water. But what I'll do is I'll fill my entire stomach up at that point. And the reason I do that is so that I don't have to stick my finger down my throat. For one, I don't like getting all the capsaicin oil on my hands because then I have to touch myself later on, and it's not good getting that much capsaicin all over yourself. So I try to let my body naturally get rid of it by just filling it up completely full. But occasionally I have to help it along. But the thing is with the potatoes too, once you get to that point where you see potatoes, you know you have got to that safe zone, so to speak, because everything, when you're dealing with hot sauce can make its way around the potatoes. That's something to think about too. If you're like trying to drink a bottle of hot sauce, it can make its way around, but anything that's kind of a solid form is going to get stopped by the potatoes. It's going to be kind of like a base. So when you get to the potatoes, generally you're safe. So that's something to think about. I mean, realistically, that's one of the biggest problems I think with cap cramps is if you do too much and you don't get that stuff out of your system. I really 100% believe that's where you're going to get your worst cap cramps, is when your body tells you start to get that feeling in your stomach. It's like, oh, this is going to be bad. And those of you that know, once you have that feeling, that tinge in your stomach, and it's just like, oh, it's coming. And that first tinge is just the warning shot to say you're about to be in trouble. You're about to have a really rough night. So Aridon, yeah, I love you too. That's my cousin, by the way, and he's trying to be funny. Troll me. I know how you are, dude. Good job. You're winning at life. So, what's up, Squatch? Happy Saturday night. Thank you, Luther. Appreciate that. Tim Stocks, worst I find is when you wake up in the middle of your sleep and the gut is on fire. Exactly. Tim, that is one of the things that, like, you'll go to bed thinking, okay, I'm through whatever I got, I'm good. Nothing happened. And then 3 to 5 hours later, you wake up and you're just like, it feels like somebody took a blade, set it in a furnace for an hour, and then brought it out and just started dragging it through your intestines, and it just does not stop. It's terrible. Squatch, what's up, man? Had that burn this morning. The other end. Yeah, and that happens too. Honestly, Corey, that does happen. Got cap cramps. Okay, we already did that one. Let's see. Tube of Terror is the one I threw up on, and recently the Moab. Didn't read the ingredients. Had coconut, which I'm deathly allergic to. Wow, that's scary. Okay, well, how spicy can it be? I guess that's something that, like myself, like I'm very lactose intolerant, and that actually will affect my body. So if I know I'm going to have to ingest, say I have a challenge that's going to involve like cheese or something like that, if I know I'm going to ingest that kind of stuff, I make sure for me that I don't have to work the next day. So it's always important to know what you're up against too, as far as challenge goes, or your challenges go. Best lecture ever. I'm loving this. Hey, Stephen, and honestly, Jeff Coy had mentioned that one of my live streams that got deleted, I had kind of went in depth to this, and I think it's important that people know this stuff. Myself and Dark from Heat 101, the best way I can put it is we have scienced the hell out of this stuff. We have trial and error. I've been doing this for about 2 years. He's been doing it for around a year. And he and I have worked very closely together to kind of figure out a method to how to deal with this stuff. And it's very important that you take care of your body, especially if you're abusing it like we do. And I mean, this is what he and I do. This is what Bella. This is what we do. Johnny Scoville, even all of us, we beat our bodies up on a regular basis. So we have to take care of that, and we have to know how to do this. And I don't feel like me telling everybody how I do it is anything more than just kind of keeping the public safe, because I don't want people thinking that, oh, I just downed 2 tubes of terror and I'm just gonna let it go through my body. Because a normal person, there's a chance maybe I could have weathered that storm, but I don't know. And a normal person, if you've somehow found a way to get those down and your body's not used to running that much capsaicin through your body, which nobody's body should be used to running that much capsaicin. If your body's not used to running that much, I mean, you could end up in the hospital. And I'm not even slightly joking about that. There's probably people that are watching this right now that have ended up in the hospital from doing something too stupid with capsaicin. So it's a wondrous thing when you get that rush from doing capsaicin, but you also have to know what your capabilities are. So very important. I really feel like, it's stuff people don't talk about enough. I don't think people talk about it. Everybody wants to pretend like they're Superman and they don't ever have to puke things up or whatever. I'm here to tell you, we all do. Every one of us that does this, we have to. There's times where you just have to, and if you don't, you're probably going to pay some of the worst consequences ever for doing that. So, go ahead, pretend you don't, whatever. I don't care. It doesn't hurt me. I'm the guy that I don't hide it. I let you guys know, brutally honest, where I'm at with heat levels and things. And it's not because I feel like I'm better than anybody. It's just this is how I've done my show since the beginning, and I don't hide anything. I don't if I've got to puke something up, I don't hide it. If somebody says, "Hey, did you have to puke that up?" If I puked it up, I'm gonna say, "Yeah, I had to puke it up. It was terrible. I needed to get it out of me." It's whatever, So just wanted to let that out there. And I think Jeff Coy brought it up that this needed to come out again, especially since that one was deleted. And I feel like it's very important, especially those of you that are new to this. Just don't go jumping out into Reaper country and just downing 5 or 6 Reapers and thinking you're just going to be fine, because you're probably not. Maybe you can tolerate the first 1 or 2 and you did fine, and you're like, oh, I can do 5 or 6. The difference between 1 or 2 Reapers and 5 or 6 Reapers is huge. Your body trying to process that. I don't care if you're me. Once I get into that 5 or 6 or beyond with the Reapers, I'm probably going to get that stuff out of me. I can maybe say I could process 2, 3, maybe 4, but when I go beyond that, I feel like it's too risky. The risk is not worth it. There's no reason to risk hurting yourself that bad. A friend of mine ate a whole pepper and couldn't breathe. He scared the crap out of him. And that's something else too. There are people some people have different maybe heart conditions or things like that. Very unsafe if you have a heart condition to try to do something like this, because if you can almost go into like shock if you get into cap cramps. And there's even a potential that you could go into shock if you experience too much capsaicin. It's a real thing. Like, you could potentially go into shock. So if you have a heart condition, it's probably not a good idea to do large amounts of capsaicin. If you have respiratory issues such as asthma and things like that, I mean, if you got your inhaler, maybe you can do it. I don't know. I'm not a medical professional. I just don't think if you have asthma and things. I know Johnny Scoble has asthma. I don't personally think it's the best idea to do copious amounts of capsaicin at that point, but it's whatever. If that's what you choose to do, just be aware that you could have breathing issues from that kind of stuff. So things to think about. Have a hard time throwing things up. And Nick Barnes, I actually have noticed over the time of doing this, I have a hard time throwing things up too, and that's why generally what I'll do is I'll fill my stomach up with liquid and usually let just the force overcome to make myself throw up. I have a hard time throwing up too, so I try to not do so many challenges that I need to throw up. Like there's some that I do that, like the 2 tubes of terror, I got that stuff out of my system. And honestly, and no joke, all joking aside, those 2 tubes, I got that stuff up what I thought was pretty well, and I still had probably a good half-hour area where I had one real good cap cramp wave, and then about 15-20 minutes later I had another pretty decent cap cramp wave. So overall there was a total of like a 30-minute window where things were pretty rough with that, even after I puked it up and got in a good situation, what I thought was a good situation there. So things can still creep up and really do some damage to you. Yeah, even when I've tried throwing something up, it never works. Sometimes, Jacob, what that can be is if you haven't been eating food all day when you're trying to throw something up like that, if you haven't been eating stuff, what'll happen is your body instantly, if your body's like starving for nourishment, it'll instantly start trying to process that, and it'll start trying to digest. So if you take 20 minutes to go before, like you're doing a show or something, and you take 20 minutes and you're like, okay, 20 minutes later I'm gonna go try to puke things up, you can run into the issue where your body's already started trying to process that, and it's like, no, I'm not letting you have this. I'm hungry, I'm starving, I need nutrition, and so it's trying to process that, and it really just doesn't want to come up. So something to think about there too. Little piece of chocolate. Oh, right on, Michael Johnson. And that's the thing, man. That is a genuinely spicy chocolate that you won from the Choco Challenge. That's a genuinely spicy thing there. So, hi, good thing you're doing. Thank you. I appreciate that, Scott. Been there ever. Even once you have the tolerance, stomach is a different story. Yeah, and that's the thing. John Steele, it's great to say that. Tolerance doesn't necessarily mean that your body is just going to process. The worst calf cramps I've ever had have always been on the nights where I think I'm going to be fine. It's stuff that just I've done before, or it's something that I'm like, no big deal. It's not that much. And I don't prepare for it. And then all of a sudden, boom, I'm dead. So since we're here, I want to talk about some stuff. I'm pretty good friends with Mikey V from Mikey V's Hot Sauce. And I was at Jungle Gyms today in Fairfield, Cincinnati, with Heat 101, as a matter of fact, and my girl, Missy L. And we picked up some stuff. These are spicy gator toes, which it looks like a little, kind of like I don't know if you're familiar with, what are they called? Corn nuts. They look kind of like corn nuts, but these are actually fried garlic cloves. So I'm about to try this. It says this one's spicy gator toes. So, oh, it's amazing. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Wow. Okay, so I just felt like I can't do a show without eating some spicy stuff, right? These are amazing. Mikey V, jeez, dude. That is spectacular. Wow, this is what's in this. Fried garlic, non-hydrogenated canola oil, dextrin, sea salt, onion, red pepper, soy protein, corn protein, spices, and spice extract. It's delicious. It's a super mild garlic flavor. Considering, I guess you fry it like that, it just takes all the like overpowering. Because a normal piece of garlic, you couldn't just throw a clove of garlic in your mouth and just chew it up like that. No problem. Trust me. That's pretty darn good. I hope they're watching. Brittany and Mike Roden, good friends of mine on Facebook. They sent Missy and I some jerky. We traded them some of the last existing Death Adder, and this stuff is spectacular. Oh my gosh. This stuff's probably about I'd say it's almost a 5 in heat for me. And I don't even think they use Death Adder in this stuff. This stuff is good though. The flavor they're reaching. Mike was a little concerned that it was too dry. I don't feel like it is. It's definitely drier than the last batch he sent me, but this is not by any means. It's not that crumbly. There's still some nice flecks in it. You can kind of hear it even. It's not cracking. So, let's see what we got here. Interesting toes. Yeah, I know, right? Oh man, it sounds incredible. Speaking of toes, I don't know if B. Driscoll's still in here. B's helping me get my record back. Hot Sauce Junkie Tim came in and took my record by like 10 seconds. I had done 20 minutes on the toes, 2 toes of Satan, and then chewed them up. He came in and did 20 minutes and 10 seconds, so I gotta go back and beat him again. I'm gonna put it out of everybody's reach this time, I think. Unless you just really want to suffer and beat me. And if you do, hey, I'll go back and do it again. Maybe I'll do 3 this time. I saw somebody else, my buddy Sean. Sorry if I'm going to say your name wrong. Sean Sheffield. Sean Sheffield tried to do 3 and he struggled. I think he might have got the 5 minutes, but it was just the amount of drool that happens when you have that much of those in your mouth. Like, they don't fit very easy. 2 pretty much filled my whole entire mouth up. It was bad. So, I do that garlic one once in a while. Yeah, this stuff's amazing. The garlic stuff is fantastic too. Seriously, if you guys can find these gator toes, I'd strongly recommend them. I mean, it's an interesting little snack. looks like the carbohydrates, and I'm sorry, this is definitely chewy. These actually look really good as far as, I mean, considering they're fried, I'm sure that part's not that healthy for you, but calories is only 130 calories per serving. It says there's 24 servings in this, which honestly, I'd say I can see that. Little handful of these would probably be plenty enough. 130 calories, 8 grams of fat, which is not bad. Saturated fat, no saturated fat, so that's cool. No trans fat. Sodium's a little high. It's 110 milligrams, not bad. Total carbohydrates 16 grams, not bad. Sugars 1. Dietary fiber 2, so that gets 2 of your carbohydrates back. You're at 14 carbohydrates now of bad carbohydrates. Proteins at 4 grams. So it's these really, they're not bad for you, and they're not really spicy. To me, that maybe for somebody that's a non-chili head, they'd be a little spicy, but the flavor is really good. We're just kind of a unique snack that I'm trying to place the texture. I really can't even place the texture. It's not a corn nut. I can't explain it. It's kind of a, and this is gonna sound bad, but I promise you it's good. It's kind of a foamy texture, like a kind of a harder foam, as far as I would say, but it just, the flavor of the garlic is really nice. It's not overpowering. It's got a very mild tone to it, and I think the fact that it was fried really kind of calms that down. And then there's a little peck of heat in there. It's not much. I'd say these are a 1 in heat for me. The fact that he calls these spicy, it's okay. I mean, for a normal person, yeah. I recommend them though. They're good. You can get any jerky off of these guys too, Brittany and Mike Rogan. If you're friends with them, please do. I'm telling you, their stuff is amazing. They seriously, out of all my friends that make jerky, their jerky is seriously the best. They have this like glaze that they put on it, and it's almost like a teriyaki glaze, but it's not overly sweet. And then they're real focused on getting a good heat out of that too. And they're also focused about not over drying it. I think this one they were a little upset that it was maybe a little too dry. It was not. It's fine. Really it is. When do you think you will do the toes? I'm hoping to potentially do the toes in the next week or two. B. I'm sorry I had not responded to you on that. I just saw it right before I went live, so sorry about that. But yeah, hoping to do the toes in the next week or two. That would be great. Yeah, I'll probably do the toes live again. Whoops, made it, but too late. Jeff, I did kind of go through and show the stuff that you gave me. You can obviously go back and watch the video and see what I said about that. But yeah, what's going on, Crazy Kimberlin? What's going on? Hey guys, that's another YouTuber. Definitely go check him out. He just had his birthday. I threw it on your Facebook wall the other day, but happy belated birthday, Crazy Kimberlin. Go check his channel out. Give him a subscribe. Good guy. Been in the spicy community for a long time. This dude's been throwing up videos for a long time. I think, if I remember this correctly, in your live video for your birthday, you had said that you had been monetized at one point, and I think you had been basically demonetized, I guess, because you probably fell under the thing. That's what just happened to me the other day. I actually hit the monetization mark. I hit the 240,000 minutes or 4,000 hours. And I must have done a video last year that was a little better, because I somehow instantly the next day I fell right back down below. So I'm like right at the cusp of being monetized, and so was he. So we both could really use the view time and the subscriptions. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. Go subscribe to our shows, and we'd appreciate it. I'm sure Crazy Kimberlin is the same way. Yeah, there's like $60 or 60 some dollars on hold until I can be monetized again. Dude, Isn't that great? Like, you and I are like, we're people, we've been doing this for a fairly long time, I guess, when it comes to this. Because what we do is pretty hard anyways. What's going on, Squatch? DWP 9mm. What's going on, man? Good to see you. But yeah, so upcoming though, guys, I have some cool stuff going on. I also have the Valhalla Ollies. I think that's it. Anyways, the Valhalla Ollies from Old 300 Ranch. They are 12 of, gotta be the world's hottest raviolis, and then he's got a sauce that he made. This sauce, I feel like the sauce is more dangerous than the raviolis that he made. But anyways, I'm gonna do that challenge coming up here pretty soon too. So I've got some really cool challenges in the works. I cannot wait to do those. I'm super excited about that. No, I will not be doing the Valhalla sausage challenge again anytime soon. Maybe sometime next year, if I've lost my video, I might be able to be talked into doing it. But that was a terrible, terrible challenge for me. Scorpion Peppers and myself are just not good friends. So what we got here? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, on that note, I've been on here for a little over 30 minutes, I think. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I definitely appreciate you guys watching and supporting the channel. I think, you know what, another thing I'd like to mention, I think I'm going to do something else. I think before I I'm starting to lose people already. Before I lose all of you guys, I think another thing I'm going to start doing is I'm considering doing a Cooking with Sasquatch segment. That will consist of me doing probably mainly comfort foods. I consider myself a pretty good cook, and most people enjoy my cooking, so I'll give you guys recipes on things like how I make my wings. I make wings that are baked that taste like they're fried. I make, chicken noodle soup, amazing chicken noodle soup, chicken and dumplings. Like I do the northern style drop dumplings, things like that, chili, whatnot. Just comfort foods that I like to eat. And then we'll just call it Cooking with Sasquatch, and I'll go through and kind of show you guys how I do that. I'll put links in the description on how to actually cook the foods and the recipes and whatnot. But I want to actually take you guys through and let you see what the process is. I think it might be a new, interesting dynamic. I guess if you don't think that sounds like a good idea or something, throw me a message, shoot me a message on here. I have, eatingwithsasquatch@gmail. If you got some kind of ideas on things I can do, throw it to me. I mean, bang it off of me. If I like it, I might do that. So Jeff Coy, he suggested that I do this video. So thank you for that, Jeff. Thank you for the sauces. I really appreciate that. That being said, time to get out of here. Till next time, eat like a squatch.